Welcome to the Daily Current Affairs by CivicCentre IAS, where we try to discuss the important articles from the Hindu, the Indian Express and the PIB from the UPSC CSC prelims perspective. Displayed are the list of articles which we are going to discuss in today's video. The first article is from the PIB, talks about Pradhan Mantri Vanbandhu Kalyan Yojana. See, the Pradhan Mantri Vanbandhu Kalyan Yojana, in short called the PMVKY, which was launched on October 28th of 2014, is a government initiative to empower and uplift India's tribal communities, which represent approximately 8.9% of the population. Aiming to address the socio-economic challenges and preserve the cultural heritage, this scheme involves an allocation of 26,135.46 crore from the year 2021 to 2026. If we look at the key components and schemes of PMVKY, the first one is Pradhan Mantri Adi Adarsh Grama Yojana. Under this, it targets village development in 36,428 tribal villages by enhancing connectivity, education, health, and sanitation. Know that a budget of 7,276 crore rupees is allocated, with 2,283 crore released for initiatives benefiting from approximately 16,000 villages by July 2024. The second component is development of particularly vulnerable tribal groups, in short called the PVTGs. Under this, it focuses on improving housing, health and education for the marginalized tribal communities. So a 15,000 crore rupee budget over 3 years ensures basic amenities like housing, water and connectivity. So this includes an awareness campaign across 100 districts to reach 15,000 PVTG households. The third component is support to tribal research institutes. Under this, it facilitates research on tribal cultures and challenges, with funding provided to strengthen tribal knowledge bases in various states. Fourth one is pre-metric and post-metric scholarships. So, pre-metric scholarships support students in grades 9 and 10 with contributions from central and state governments based on regional requirements. Then post-metric scholarship assists students beyond grade 10 to encourage higher education among tribal youth. The next component is Lekalavya Model Residential Schools, which are the residential schools to provide quality education from grades 6 to 12 in tribal dominated blocks. So the goal is to establish 728 Ekalavya Model Residential Schools by the year 2026. The next component is Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Vikas Mission, which supports tribal entrepreneurship through Vocal for Local by Tribal initiative, focusing on marketing and procurement of minor forest produce at minimum support prices. Now, moving on to talk about the funding and implementation. See, for 2024-25, 4,300 crore allocated for PMVKY schemes targeting scholarships for 27.5 lakh students and essential amenities in 5,000 villages. Then, we have something called the Development Action Plan for scheduled tribes, which ensures a cross-ministerial approach for tribal welfare, with 1.23 lakh crore allocated across 41 ministries for education, health and skill development. The second article of the day says that the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center of Ministry of Home Affairs has issued an against illegal payment gateways created using the mule bank accounts by transnational organized cybercriminals, facilitating money laundering as a service. In this context, let us talk about the I4C, or the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center. See, the I4C is an initiative of the Ministry of Home Affairs of the Government of India to deal with the cybercrime in the country in a coordinated and comprehensive manner. Furthermore, the I4C focuses on tackling all the issues related to cybercrime for the citizens, which includes improving coordination between various law enforcement agencies and the stakeholders, driving change in India's overall capability to tackle cybercrime and to improve citizen satisfaction levels. Know that Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center scheme was approved on 5th October of 2018. So, since its rollout, it has worked towards enhancing the nation's collective capability to tackle cybercrimes and to develop effective coordination among the law enforcement agencies. Furthermore, the I4C was dedicated to the nation on 10 January 2020 by the Honorable Home Minister. Now, if we have to talk about the objectives of I4C, firstly, to act as a nodal point to curb the cybercrime in the country. Secondly, to strengthen the fight against cybercrime committed against women and children. Thirdly, to facilitate easy filing cybercrime related complaints and identifying cybercrime trends and patterns. Furthermore, to act as an early warning system for law enforcement agencies to proactive cybercrime prevention and detection. Then, awareness creation among public about preventing cybercrime. And lastly, assist states on union territories in capacity building of police officers, public prosecutors, and judicial officers in the area of cyber forensic, investigation, cyber hygiene, cyber criminology, etc. The next article is in the context of Ayurveda Day 2024. In this context, let us talk about the theme and highlights. See, the 9th Ayurveda Day, celebrated on October 9 of 2024, marks an expansive observance under the theme Ayurveda Innovation for Global Health. Significantly, over 150 countries participate to highlight Ayurveda's potential for modern healthcare. So, the Ayurveda Day, observed on Dhanvantari Jayanti since 2016, honors Lord Dhanvantari, who is a divine physician and promotes awareness of Ayurveda's holistic health practices. Now, if we look at the key focus areas of 2024 Ayurveda Day, firstly, Ayurvedic practices for addressing unique health needs of women. The second one is promoting Ayurvedic approaches for stress management and productivity. Then, immunity boosting and personalized nutrition guidance for children. And lastly, blending traditional Ayurvedic dietary principles with modern techniques. So, this year's theme significance is Ayurveda Innovation for Global Health. So, the theme emphasizes Ayurvedic advancements for combating non-communicable diseases and antimicrobial resistance, then addressing issues like climate change, geriatric health, and mental awareness. And lastly, supporting UN Sustainable Development Goals and universal health coverage. Notably, Ayurveda is legally recognized in 24 countries and is supported by international forums, including SCO, BIMSTEC, and BRICS. Furthermore, Ayurveda practices have been integrated into WHO's ICD-11, enhancing global documentation standards. Know that the Global Traditional Medicine in Gujarat of India spearheads research and training in traditional medicine. If we talk about the historical context and global influence of Ayurveda, see, rooted in the ancient Indian texts, Ayurveda developed systematically through treatises like Karaka Samhita and Sushruta Samhita. Furthermore, Ayurveda influenced health practices globally through the Takshashila University and Nalanda University. Know that it has also impacted traditional Tibetan and Chinese medicine. Significantly, Ayurveda's global influence has grown since 1970s with structured academic programs, a vast network of practitioners, and a strong manufacturing base. Today, Ayurveda products are exported to over 100 countries. The next article says that the Odisha government has translocated a female tiger from Maharashtra's Tadoba Andari Tiger Reserve to Similipal Tiger Reserve, which is the state's largest, to enhance the genetic diversity of its tiger population. Of the 27 tigers in the Similipal, 13 adult tigers are found to be pseudo-melanistic, and no other wild habitat in the world has pseudo-melanistic tigers. In this context, let us talk about the relevant aspects. Firstly, talking about the Similipal Tiger Reserve. See, the Similipal Tiger Reserve, located in the Mayurbhanj district of Odisha, is one of the India's largest contiguous forested regions with vast ecosystem services and biodiversity. Know that it lies in the Deccan Peninsula biogeographic zone, specifically within the Chota Nagpur province and Mahanandian region, and forms the largest watershed in northern Odisha. Now, if we have to talk about the key geographic and ecological features, see, the Similipal is characterized by wide altitudinal, climatic, and topographic diversity and is crossed by numerous perennial streams. Furthermore, this range supports a unique mix of plant species from the Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats, and sub-Himalayan regions. Significantly, the area predominantly comprises moist mixed deciduous forests and tropical semi-evergreen forests with patches of dry deciduous forests and grasslands. Now, if we have to talk about the melanistic tigers of Similipal, see, the melanism is a genetic condition that results in an increased production of melanin, leading to darker pigmentation in the skin, feathers, and the hair of the animals. So, in the Similipal of Odisha, a unique lineage of pseudo-melanistic Royal Bengal tigers exhibits this phenomenon, resulting in black and yellow intercepted stripes. Know that these tigers are not fully black, and hence the term pseudo-melanistic is more accurate. If we have to talk about the key characteristics of the habitat, see, Similipal's melanistic tiger features a broad and merged stripes, giving the impression of a darker black coat intercepted with yellow. Interestingly, the Similipal Tiger Reserve covering 2,750 square kilometers in Odisha, is the only natural habitat in India and Asia's second largest biosphere reserve for these rare tigers. The next article says that the BRICS summit in Kazan has been a total success, said the Russian ambassador to India, Denis Alipov, on Monday. Furthermore, Ambassador Denis Alipov said BRICS represents current realities and it was not anti-West. In this context, let us talk about the BRICS. See, BRICS is an acronym for the grouping of the world's leading emerging economies, namely Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Now, if we have to talk about the formation of BRICS, see, the grouping was first informally formed during a meeting of the leaders of Brazil, Russia, India, and China on the silence of G8, which is now called the G7, Outreach Summit in St. Petersburg of Russia in 2006. Later, this was formalized during the first BRIC Foreign Ministers meeting in New York in 2006. Then in 2009, the inaugural BRIC Summit took place in Yekaterinburg of Russia. Then in the following year in 2010, South Africa joined to form the group known as BRICS. Notably, during the 6th BRICS Summit in Fortaleza, the leaders signed the agreement establishing the new development bank. Now, what about the funding structure? See, currently two entities make up the financial architecture of BRICS, namely the New Development Bank, in short called the NDB, and the Contingent Reserve Arrangement, in short called the CRA. Significantly, the group was designed to bring together the world's most important developing countries to challenge the political and economic power of the wealthier nations of North America and Western Europe. Know that Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates were invited to become the members with effect from 1st January of 2024. The next article says that the Union government has reportedly decided to include 4 new components, which are hydroponics, aquaponics, vertical farming, and precision agriculture under the Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture. In this context, let us talk about the Mission for Integrated Development of Horticulture, in short called the MIDH. See, the MIDH is a centrally sponsored scheme launched in the year 2014 to support the holistic development of India's horticulture sector. Significantly, covering all states and union territories, the MIDH integrates 6 previous schemes to enhance the production, infrastructure, and marketability of the horticultural crops. So, the horticultural crops covered are fruits, vegetables, root and tuber crops, mushrooms, spices, flowers, aromatic plants, coconut, cashew, cocoa, and bamboo. Moving on to talk about the regional focus. Firstly, National Horticultural Mission, which covers 18 states and union territories, and the Horticulture Mission for Northeast and Himalayan states, which focuses on all northeastern states and the Himalayan regions like the Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, and Uttarakhand. Now, what are the integrated schemes under MIDH? Firstly, National Horticulture Mission, which supports horticulture development in identified states. Secondly, Horticulture Mission for Northeast and Himalayan states that targets horticulture growth in northeastern and Himalayan regions. Thirdly, National Bamboo Mission, which aims to enhancing bamboo cultivation, usage, and marketing. Fourthly, National Horticulture Board, which coordinates development of high-tech commercial horticulture, focusing on vibrant horticultural hubs. Then the Coconut Development Board, that focuses on productivity enhancement and product diversification for coconut cultivation. And lastly, Central Institute for Horticulture, under which Nagaland, which provides technical and infrastructural support to promote horticulture in northeastern region. Now, looking at the objectives and key components of it. Firstly, production enhancement by increasing the productivity through quality seeds and planting materials. Then, expanding the cultivation to include 11 lakh hectares of new horticulture crops. Secondly, infrastructure development through creation of post-harvest management and market infrastructure with 19,000 facilities. And then development of energy-efficient cold chain infrastructure for fresh produce. Thirdly, technology adoption and commercialization by promoting new technologies, tools, and practices after conducting need assessments, and by encouraging adoption by farmers and farmer producer organizations. Now, talking about the financial structure, see, the Government of India contribution is 60% for states and 90% for the northeastern Himalayan states, where 100% for the NHP, CDB, CIH, and national level agencies. And then the state's contribution is 40% in most of the states, whereas the 10% in the northeastern and Himalayan states. The next article says that the government is set to conduct the much delayed census next year and to complete the process by the year 2026, with suggestions being taken on whether caste enumeration would be a part of the exercise as per the sources. Then, following the completion of this census, the government will go ahead with delimitation for redrafting the constituencies. In this context, let us talk about delimitation. See, delimitation refers to the process of defining the number of seats and the boundaries for territorial constituencies in each state for the Lok Sabha and state legislative assemblies. So, this process includes firstly establishing the number of electoral seats for each constituency, secondly determining the geographical boundaries of these constituencies, thirdly allocating the specific seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Then the constitutional basis for this is Articles 82 and 170 of the Indian Constitution that mandates the readjustment of seats and constituencies after each census. Significantly, this delimitation process is performed by the Delimitation Commission that is set up under an Act of Parliament. Know that the delimitation commissions were established 4 times till now in 1952, 1963, 1973 and 2002. The next article provides key insights on India's aging population. In this context, let us talk about the relevant aspects. See, 70 to 80% of the changes in India's older population are due to declining fertility rates rather than rising mortality. Furthermore, India is experiencing uneven aging across its states. That is, several south states have surpassed an older dependency ratio of 15, with Kerala exceeding 20. Also, states like Punjab, Himachal Pradesh and West Bengal have lowest fertility rates. But in contrast, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar maintain moderate fertility rates. Now, what is the significance of the working age population? See, a higher working age population and lower dependency rates can lead to increased production, savings and reduced consumption. Significantly, India entered this advantageous phase which we call the window of opportunity in the year 2005 with the ratio strengthening in 2015 and lasting until 2061, particularly effective until 2045. Now, what are the reasons for this declining fertility rates in India? The first one is urbanization and cost of living. See, urbanization contributes to rising living costs, making people hesitant to have more children. Some of the key factors include increased expenses for education and healthcare and higher costs associated with housing. Secondly, changing the marriage trends. See, delayed marriages are becoming more common, influenced by economic factors. For instance, employment is increasingly viewed as a crucial criterion for marriage proposals. So, unemployment concerns lead to postponements in marriage. Then, shifts in the values and aspirations. So, there is a shift in the personal priorities and values. For instance, people now prioritize self-actualization, quality of life, and personal happiness over merely fulfilling basic needs. So, the desire for self-esteem and time for oneself is reshaping life choices, including decisions about the family size. The next article says that the World Meteorological Organization reported that the greenhouse gas levels reached a new record in 2023. In this context, let us talk about the relevant aspects. So, what are the greenhouse gases? See, the greenhouse gases are the gases in which the Earth's atmosphere that trap heat. So, they allow sunlight to enter the atmosphere while preventing the heat from escaping back into the space. So, this process, known as the greenhouse effect, acts like a blanket insulating the Earth and maintaining its warmer temperature. See, some of the key greenhouse gases are water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, or ozone, and nitrous oxide. Now, what is the importance of these greenhouse gases? See, these gases occur naturally and play a crucial role in sustaining life on Earth. Significantly, without the greenhouse effect facilitated by these gases, the planet would be unable to maintain the liquid water, making life as we know is impossible. Now, what are the key findings of the WMO? See, the carbon dioxide levels increased by 2.3 parts per million from 2022 to 2023, marking the 12th consecutive year of CO2 rises exceeding 2 ppm. Now, talking about the current CO2 levels, see, globally average surface concentration of CO2 hit 420 parts per million in 2023. Notably, this concentration is comparable to levels seen 3 to 5 million years ago, when the global temperatures were 2 to 3 degrees higher and sea levels were 10 to 20 meters higher than today. What are the factors contributing to this increase? See, the increase in CO2 from 2022 to 23 was slightly above the previous year, but below the average growth rate over the last decade, influenced by natural variability. Know that the high fossil fuel emissions from industrial activities contributed significantly to the rise. Additionally, increased CO2 emissions from large vegetation fires and a potential decrease in carbon absorption by forests also played a critical role. Also, the impact of El Nino can't be ignored. See, the El Nino weather phenomenon contributed to, firstly, higher temperatures and reduced rainfall, especially in South Asia. Then, drier vegetation, which heightened the risk of wildfires, releasing more greenhouse gases. Also, the WMO noted that during the El Nino years, the efficiency of the land carbon sinks decreases, leading to higher greenhouse gas levels due to the impact of forest fires and drier conditions. The last article of the day says that the recent United Nations report indicates that the nation plans to limit global warming are insufficient. So if fully implemented, these plans would only reduce the emissions by 2.6% from 2019 levels. In this context, let us talk about the key findings of the report. Firstly, talking about the required emission reductions, see, the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change (IPCC) emphasizes the need for more significant cuts, which are 43% reduction by 2030 and 60% reduction by 2035. Significantly, these reductions are necessary to limit the global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Furthermore, the report synthesizes the information from 168 latest nationally determined contributions submitted by the 195 nations party to the Paris Agreement. What about the India's commitment? See, India updated its nationally determined contributions in August 2022, pledging to, firstly, to reduce the emissions intensity of its GDP by 45% from 2005 levels by 2030, and to ensure that at least 50% of total electricity generation capacity comes from non-fossil fuel sources by 2030. Significantly, India's National Action Plan on Climate Change was launched in 2008 to outline a plan to address climate change. So, some of the goals of NAPCC include, firstly, reducing carbon emissions, through which India aims to reduce its carbon emissions by 1 billion tons by 2030. Secondly, increasing renewable energy, through which India aims to meet 50% of its energy needs from renewable sources by the year 2030. Furthermore, India aims to improve water use efficiency by 20%. Then, India aims to increase forest cover from 23% to 33% of its territory. Next, India aims to support climate adaptation in agriculture by developing climate resilient crops. And lastly, India aims to improve climate modeling and increase international collaboration to better understand the climate science. So in this video, we have discussed 10 articles in total for today. We'll be back with another video tomorrow. Thank you.